Oh, hi, it's your old buddy Zoo here, and I'm very clearly in weekend attire because I was farting around at the Kroger's, buying pickles and whatnots, and I got a DM from someone. They said, Zoo, get on the Discord. 557 news has broken. So I went in and I looked, and I'll be damned, all the specs and the price and all sorts of other stuff were revealed by one of our Discord users. Davey, good old Davey Crockett, king of the wild frontier, happened to be not in the wild frontier, but in Hong Kong at an electronics expo. So very different from actual Davey Crockett. Anyway, Davey from Discord sent us some pictures and some information, and I said, that's neat. And then Stubbs DM'd me and he said, Zoo, you got to do a news video on it. And I said, but it's the weekend. And he said, I'm really going to start taking a look at your company purchases. And since I used that card to buy expensive hot sauces, I said, okay, Mr. Stubbs, I'll do the video. Dun, 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 dun! Breaking news on the specs. We already knew this. We couldn't really confirm it, but now it's actually been confirmed. It's using the Dimensity 8300, which on paper outperforms the 556 anywhere from 50% to 75% based on if it's a single core or a multi-core test. It also outperforms the Snapdragon 865 by not just like 2%, but a little bit more than that. And the Snapdragon 865 is, of course, what the Retroid Pocket 5 uses. So we're going to see some considerable performance on this. Their trailers, their demos, they show a lot of Wii U. They don't show that other Nintendo console. And I think the other Nintendo console is kind of the elephant in the room here, because you are obviously going to power through PlayStation 2, GameCube, Wii U. The issue is the Dimensity chipsets don't have the wide driver support that you would get with Snapdragon. So in certain systems, where driver support is important, you might not see that power difference that you would see reflected on the raw benchmarking scores. It also comes with 256 gigabytes of onboard storage, so you should be able to get pretty far before you have to resort to, tossing a 512 or a 1 terabyte SD card in there. Suffice to say, you'll be able to fit a lot of games in this thing. It also has 12 gigabytes of RAM. 12! It means any of your higher end emulators that are RAM dependent are going to run a lot better. And also, native Android games are probably going to run really, really silky smooth with that 12 gigabytes of RAM. Oh, by the way, it also has Wi-Fi 6E, which is important for streaming. Now, the original 556, I used for streaming all the time. It was a streaming beast. And I'm not just doing like the ETA Prime thing. Beast, it's an emulation beast. It could actually be a really, really good streaming device. And oh, by the way, play the hell out of Android games and hire an emulator. It comes with a 5500 milliamp hour battery, the same as the 556. And this thing was pretty good on battery. And oh, by the way, it features potentially fast charging because the specs list 5 or 9 volts at 27 watts, which means you don't have to plug it into the wall on a trickle charge and wait 6 hours. It should probably charge a lot faster than, say, a 35XX SP. It also comes with that game downloader program. And I don't know if Anbernic just said F it because of the tariffs and they're like, whatever, I don't care about the Western market. But then again, they blurred out the Wii U gameplay in their trailer, so I don't know. Maybe this data sheet is meant for mainland China, where IP laws just don't exist. We don't know. I feel like Anbernic has flown really close to the sun lately with their Game Boy Advance inspired and maybe direct shell copies like the 34XX. And then that game downloader they tried to push out to the XX firmware. I don't know. I like Anbernic. I hope they end up like Kid Icarus, palling around with a beautiful goddess of light. Maybe they're smooching on the side. We don't know. I don't know the canonicity of the Kid Icarus lore. But I just hope they don't end up like real Icarus, who, of course, flew too close to the sun, caught on fire, crashed into the ocean, and then drowned. Anyway, it comes with Hall triggers. It seems to have the same exact shell and screen and buttons as the original. And I gotta tell you, the shell and the screen and the buttons on the 556 were top notch. My only concern is the joysticks because they were too shallow, limited range of motion, and oh, by the way, they had cardinal snapping. Now, cardinal snapping's fine if you're playing like a 40XXV because, you're emulating N64 or PlayStation. You don't need hyper-precise joysticks, but on something that you're going to stream with or you're going to play high-end stuff on, Gary, what are they exactly called? Let me see here. They're listed as anti-magnetic interference capacitive joysticks. Now, they could have just said Hall sticks, and the fact that they didn't kind of concerns me. I did a little bit of research, and that specific phrase is used for things that are essentially Hall sticks, like drop-in stuff for the Steam Deck, but I'm just kind of worried, because the improved sticks they were using, like on the 406H, they don't say that. They say like Hall effect joysticks, and this doesn't. I gotta believe that Anbernic has learned their lesson. I mean, they have the new sticks. They've used them in stuff like the 406H, and those sticks are great. These companies always make one just absolutely insane decision, and I just hope that the joysticks aren't it, because otherwise, this thing is shaping up to be amazing. Speaking of oddball decisions, I'm not crazy about the colors. Honestly, I like the whiteout on like the 40XXV. It's really well done. I really like how clean it is, and to me, that white 40XXV, it just seems like a $50, $60 analog pocket. It looks premium. It's not premium, but it looks premium. So I'd be okay with whiteout. The other option is like a pale transparent purple. If you're gonna go transparent purple, go like neon crazy purple. Don't do like wishy-washy. I don't like it. I wish they would have done, where's my wood grain, right? Where's my wood grain 557? Or maybe you could have used the transparent green or blue or red from the 35XX Honestly, that transparent blue original 556 was really good. Should have just done that instead of purple. I don't know. That's minor. It all comes down to taste, right? Speaking of taste, I got a taste for this Coca-Cola Zero I got from Wendy's. It's not sponsored, I'm just thirsty. You get a lot of pop for not a lot of money. Oh, speaking of price, the 557 is rumored to be $205 dues. That's not too bad. Now, if the tariffs go through, that could bump up to something close to $500. That is bad. That's very bad. Don't buy that for $500. There are some mitigating factors. One, Anbernic is not like Retroid or AYN or honestly any of the other manufacturers. They'll show something in a video, they drop 2 teasers, and then they have it made and ready to ship. So there is a possibility these things might be shipped out to you, depending on when they go for pre-order. If they're fast and it's out by the end of the week, you might get it before May 2nd or whenever the deadline is. Anyway, you might have this at your house before May 2nd. I wouldn't risk it. And honestly, speculating on the tariffs from day to day is a fool's errand. Because earlier today, it would have cost $500 if things go through. Literally 45 minutes ago, I saw a thing from Reuters that said, oh, actually, smartphones, laptops, electronics, they're actually going to be exempt from the tariffs. I don't know if that covers retro handhelds. I hope. We all hope. But you never know. It's very fluid. I would say, if you want this, if you want to buy it, wait for reviews to make sure the joysticks don't suck. And if you still want it, just read the news. Like, the news within the last 30 minutes on tariffs before you make your decision. You could always just wait. I feel like it's going to blow over eventually. You could always just wait. All things considered, though, I'm actually really, really hyped because the 556 was one of my favorite handhelds of all last year. And the only thing bringing it down was those joysticks that sucked. And eventually, I ran into some PlayStation 2 games that ran pretty poorly because it had a T820 chip. And I needed to switch over to my Odin 2 Mini. But otherwise, the ergonomics of this thing, ooh, the beautiful screen, it was amazing. It was amazing. And if you can upgrade the guts and fix the sticks, you have my attention now, Anbernic. Potentially, we're looking at a super 556. Honestly, though, the thing that I'm most excited about is that they're using the same shell because the ergonomics on this girl here, she's thick. And these handles on the back, really easy to hold. They made playing this for hours on end just comfortable. You don't get any hand fatigue. Your thumbs aren't cramped. Everything was in the exact right space, and it was amazing. Now you're going to have people that say, it's not pocketable, Zoo. You can't pocket it. It's a 5.5-inch screen. You start getting into the 5.5-inch screen category, I don't care that it's not pocketable, because guess what? It's probably not pocketable even without the butt cheeks. Just at that point, all in on ergo. Don't have one foot in this pond and another foot in the other pond like the RP4, where it ended up just like the slightest of butt dudes on the back. Not even enough to help. Just go all in on ergo if it's going to be a big boy or a thick girl. Anyway, if you liked the video, if you thought it was helpful, consider subscribing. We are going to have review units of the 557 probably within a couple days. We're going to do tests. We're going to definitely check out these sticks, make sure they're good sticks. We're going to see performance. Heck, we might even do some gameplay showcases. Let me know what PS2 games you want to see, particularly hard to run ones. GameCube, Wii U. I don't know if we can film the other console. Whatever you want, let us know in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and all that jazz. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.